David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, several breaking stories as we come on. President Trump's extraordinary move involving Jeffrey Epstein. Democrats tonight say the president is trying to get the attention off himself. Also tonight, the beloved coach from Netflix shot and killed. Tonight, there's news coming in of an arrest. First tonight, President Trump going on social media, ordering the Justice Department to now investigate Jeffrey Epstein's ties to prominent Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton and others. Within hours, Attorney General Pam Bondi replying publicly saying she will move forward after previously saying the case was closed. Top Democrats calling President Trump's new move, quote, panicked and desperate. Also breaking tonight, authorities say a well-known college football coach has now died after being shot on campus. Tonight, an alleged gunman under arrest and what we know so far. Tonight, the U.S. military, new images coming in, the U.S. with a massive show of force in the Caribbean. The USS Ford carrier group with the B-52 bomber overhead. Is the president preparing to take action involving Venezuela? And how do Americans feel about this? The new poll tonight. Martha Raddatz standing by. A dangerous storm taking aim. More than 22 million Americans under alerts tonight. Heavy rain, flash flooding, and possible mudslides. Lee Goldberg has the forecast. Tonight, a horrific case of road rage. An 11-year-old son killed in the backseat.
We lost a life today that we didn't have to lose.
The boy was on the way to school when his stepdad and another driver got into a heated exchange, according to authorities. Protesters and police clashing outside an ICE facility. More than 20 people arrested tonight, 4 officers injured. The war in Ukraine, Russia's punishing assault on Kyiv, buildings on fire across the city. Back in the U.S. tonight, the alarming baby formula recall expanding following new reports tonight of babies hospitalized with botulism. At least 23 babies now across 13 states. The investigation after alarming images from the beach in Miami, newly released video showing 2 lifeguards at a pickup truck running over a 59-year-old man on the beach. That man survived. In New York City at this hour, police need your help. The store owned by Tom Brady, thousands of dollars worth of merchandise stolen. Tonight's Mega Millions, someone could become a billionaire. That would be a pretty nice weekend.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We do begin tonight with this very rare move today by President Trump amid growing questions about President Trump's connection to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and multiple new emails coming to light referencing Trump. Tonight, the president in a post on social media has now ordered the Justice Department to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's ties to prominent Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton and others. President Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi replying with a social media post of her own, saying she will pursue this with urgency, after Pam Bondi previously said the investigation was over and advised the files not be released. Top Democrats calling the president's move panicked and desperate and an effort to get the spotlight off of Trump. Even some Republicans on the Hill tonight uncomfortable with this move. Mary Bruce leading us off.
Tonight, amid new questions about President Trump's 10-year friendship with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, Trump now trying to shift the focus to Democrats. In an extraordinarily rare move, a president going on social media and publicly ordering his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, and the FBI to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with several prominent Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, and, quote, many other people and institutions. Within hours, Bondi, with a public response, will do, appointing U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton of New York's Southern District to lead the probe, saying the department will pursue this with urgency and integrity. This despite the fact that earlier this year, Bondi herself closed the books on the Epstein case, insisting there's no there, saying we did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Tonight, top Democrats calling Trump panicked and desperate, saying he's trying to deflect from serious new questions we have about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Donald Trump's name himself is in a lot of those Epstein files, as we've seen, and a lot of those emails. The question is, will Donald Trump be investigated as part of this? Or is there going to be one set of rules for Donald Trump's friends and supporters and another set for his critics?
Clinton traveled on Epstein's plane on multiple occasions after his presidency, but says he was unaware of Epstein's crimes and never visited Epstein's private island. The former president has not been accused of any wrongdoing. Tonight, even some Republicans frustrated with Trump's new demand.
I don't think it's appropriate for him to do it. I would ask him not to do that, because all it does is taint our legal system.
It comes 2 days after the House Oversight Committee released thousands of documents from Epstein's estate, many mentioning Trump. In a 2017 email to former Secretary Summers, Epstein writing, "I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, not one decent cell in his body. So yes, dangerous." In a 2018 text to an unidentified person, Epstein writes, "I am the one who is able to take him down." Trump, who has denied any wrongdoing, says he cut ties with Epstein because Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell were luring away women and teenage girls who worked at Mar-a-Lago.
I threw him out of the place, persona non grata.
Next week, dozens of House Republicans are expected to break with the president and vote to demand the release of the FBI's full Epstein files. It's something Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance and supporters like now FBI Director Kash Patel promised to do during the campaign.
What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
But now that he's running the FBI, Patel is refusing to release the files. Tonight, the pressure is growing. 20 of Epstein's victims now sending Congress a letter, writing, "You have the ability to vote to release the Epstein files, and with it, deliver a promise the American people have awaited for far too long. We implore you to do so." The women adding, "Remember that your primary duty is to your constituents. Look into the eyes of your children, your sisters, your mothers, and your aunts. Imagine if they had been preyed upon. Imagine if you yourself were a survivor. What would you want for them? What would you want for yourself? When you vote, we will remember your decision at the ballot box." And that vote is expected next Tuesday. And again, we expect dozens of Republicans to break with the president and vote to release the full FBI files. But this is likely to be just the beginning of what could be a very long road. President Trump seeming to do everything he can to prevent these files from coming out. David.
All right, Mary Bruce. And Mary, you know there's other breaking news out of the White House at this hour. It comes after this election just a few days ago. Democrats, of course, sweeping those governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey. And Mary, you know, because we went over these exit polls together, the top issue in those polls for voters, affordability, the cost of living. And tonight, President Trump now rolling back some of his tariffs that have contributed to rising grocery prices.
And David, this is a major reversal as Americans are seeing higher grocery prices. The president tonight rolling back tariffs he imposed on household staples like coffee and tea, bananas, oranges and tomatoes, and even beef, which Americans are now paying record prices for today. David, for weeks, the president has insisted prices are coming down. That is not the case. And tonight he is making major changes to his own policies to address rising costs. David.
Mary Bruce covering it all at the White House tonight, and we appreciate it. Thank you, Mary. Another breaking headline tonight. Authorities say a beloved college football coach who was shot has now died. He was shot on campus at Laney College in Oakland, California yesterday. The coach was featured on the Netflix show Last Chance U. Tonight, an alleged gunman is now under arrest and what authorities are now saying about him. Here's Trevor Ault.
He was a beloved Bay Area football coach for more than 40 years, featured in the Netflix series Last Chance U.
That's it! The Laney College Eagles are the 2018 state champions.
But tonight, Oakland police say John Beam has died less than a day after he was shot at Laney College's Oakland Fieldhouse by a suspect police say he knew.
John was so much more than a coach. He was a father figure to thousands of not only men, but young women in our community.
Investigators say overnight they apprehended 27-year-old Cedric Irving Jr., reviewing hundreds of hours of surveillance footage they say follows him from the shooting scene at Laney College Thursday. They say the suspect attended the high school where Beam once coached. He was arrested at a train station at 3 a.m. with a weapon that matched the caliber of casings and live rounds found at the scene.
This was a very targeted incident, and I will say that Coach Beam, although they did not have a close relationship, was open to helping everybody in our community.
Tonight, members of the football team say they were stunned to hear the news.
I was shocked. It didn't really feel real.
David, Coach Beam expressed concerns about campus safety at a public forum one day before he was shot. He leaves behind a wife, 2 daughters, and grandchildren. The family says they're devastated. David.
Just awful. More to come on this case for sure, Trevor. Thank you. Now to the U.S. military and this major show of force in the Caribbean. New images tonight showing the buildup. The USS Ford carrier group, accompanied by a B-52 bomber. Is the president preparing to take action involving Venezuela? And tonight here, the new poll. How do Americans feel about this? Here's Martha Raddatz now.
Tonight, in a major display of force, the U.S. now showing the military firepower in place off Latin America as President Trump weighs potential strikes against drug cartels inside Venezuela. The Pentagon releasing these new images showing the USS Gerald R, the largest and most lethal carrier in the world, in tight formation with 3 destroyers as a B-52 bomber and multiple fighter jets roared overhead. A powerful display meant to send a direct message to Venezuela's President Maduro. Secretary Pete Hegseth giving the mission an official name, Operation Southern Spear. The U.S. has already launched at least 20 deadly strikes on suspected drug boats, killing at least 80 people, but offering no public evidence to prove they were smuggling drugs. And just this week, President Trump was briefed on updated options for possible strikes on land, but officials tell ABC News no decision has yet been made. And tonight, David, as this buildup of warships continues, a new Reuters Ipsos poll shows only 29% of Americans support using the U.S. military to kill suspected drug traffickers without a judge or court being involved. And several lawmakers have raised questions about the legality of the strikes. David?
Martha Raddatz live in Washington. Martha, thank you. Now to the dangerous storm hitting California at this hour. Evacuation warnings have been issued. More than 22 million Americans under alerts now. Heavy rain expected tonight right through tomorrow. Flash flood watches in effect from San Diego right up the coast. Winds gusting up to 45 miles per hour. Authorities now warning this could be very dangerous. Matt Gutman in the storm zone tonight.
Tonight, roadblocks are up and evacuation warnings are in place in Southern California as a powerful atmospheric river threatens to turn hillsides into mud. Our station KBC tracking road conditions in Sherman Oaks. Watch closely as this Tesla loses control, spins out, and slams into the guardrail on the 405 freeway. First responders warning residents if they don't evacuate when told, it could be too late.
There is nothing that can stop a mudslide. Once it starts, it's on its own timetable. We will come and rescue and help if something should happen. But before that, you can pay attention to the weather.
And this is what authorities are afraid of.
Oh my gosh.
Back in September, heavy rain, fueled by the remnants of Tropical Storm Mario, washed away vehicles in Barstow.
Watch out!
And brought a mountain of mud into the town of Oak Glen. Meanwhile, in the Central California mountains, the pack fire is out of control, already burning 20 structures and scorching more than 3,000 acres. But the storm's now giving those firefighters a hand and could possibly put an early end to fire season here.
David, we're here at the burn scars in Altadena and across Southern California. Authorities have deployed 13,000 feet of K-rail like this. You can see that green absorbent boom. Now, the worst of the rain forecast for tonight into tomorrow morning, and those evacuation warnings will remain in place through Sunday morning. David.
Matt, you and I know those burn scars can become very dangerous very quickly from this. Matt, thank you. I want to get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from WABC tracking this for us tonight. Hey, Lee.
Hey, David, and the rain intensity is set to ramp up big time later on this evening. Very heavy rainfall coming in after 10 o'clock. Flood watches out for much of Southern California. A moderate flash flood risk in places like Santa Barbara and Los Angeles. The 2 heaviest rounds from 2 in the morning to 7 in the morning, and then another round, even heavier, from 10 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Could be thunderstorms, rainfall rates at 1 inch an hour, and that could cause the mudslides over the burn scars. 2 to 4 inches of rain, even up to 6 inches of rain in the mountains. As we go through early next week, we'll still see another storm Monday and Tuesday. Could be a third on Thursday. David?
We'll be watching this all weekend long for California. Lee, thank you. Now to a disturbing story unfolding in Henderson, Nevada, a horrific case of road rage. An 11-year-old son killed while riding in the back seat. The boy was on his way to school when authorities say his stepdad and another driver got into a heated confrontation. Here's Melissa Adan.
Tonight, an 11-year-old boy is dead, killed in the back seat on his way to school in a horrific road rage tragedy on this congested Nevada freeway. At around 7:30 this morning, police say the child's stepfather and another driver had a heated exchange while attempting to pass each other, merging onto the 215 near Henderson, southeast of Las Vegas.
Our suspect then produced a handgun and fired one round.
Authorities say the stepfather then rammed the suspected shooter's car, both drivers proceeding to get out and fight on the side of the freeway before a passing police officer took the suspect into custody.
We lost a life today that we didn't have to lose. An 11-year-old was on his way to school, and this senseless act took his life.
David, the 22-year-old suspect was alone inside his car during the shooting and is now facing charges for open murder and discharging a firearm inside a vehicle. David?
Melissa, thank you. Tonight, violent clashes between police and protesters outside the Broadview ICE facility near Chicago. Authorities say more than 20 people have been arrested. At least 4 officers were hurt. Police say the situation escalated when demonstrators moved out of their designated zone. Overseas tonight, the war in Ukraine, the punishing attack on Kyiv, Russia launching more than 400 drones and 19 missiles across the country, including Kyiv, striking energy infrastructure as well in residential areas. At least 6 people were killed, 35 injured. When we come back on a Friday night here in the U.S., 23 infants have been hospitalized with botulism from formula. 13 states now and counting in what we know so far. Plus the horrific scene, 2 lifeguards driving a truck right here, running over a man lying on the beach. How did this happen and what the lifeguards are claiming tonight? In New York City, authorities need your help tonight. Tom Brady, the store he owns, thousands of dollars in merchandise has now been stolen. They want you to look at this surveillance. We'll have more in a moment. Tonight, the alarming baby formula recall expanding 8 more infants hospitalized from a botulism outbreak involving formula. The total now at least 23 babies, all 7 months or younger across 13 states. The formula manufacturer ByHeart expanding its voluntary recall to include more products. We have much more on our website for you. In New York City tonight, a suspect accused of stealing thousands of dollars in merchandise from a store co-owned by Tom Brady. Police releasing images of the suspect asking for help finding him. They say he took nearly $10,000 worth of baseball and Pokémon cards from Card Vault by Tom Brady. When we come back here, the investigation tonight amid the alarming images that have now emerged. 2 lifeguards driving a truck, running over a man lying on the beach, according to authorities. Of course, the question tonight, how did this happen? In a moment. To the index of other news tonight, the investigation after authorities say 2 lifeguards in a pickup truck ran over a man lying on the beach in Miami. Police in Miami Beach releasing this surveillance video saying the driver and passenger were both lifeguards. The 59-year-old man was not seriously hurt. This played out last year. The video is just now being released. The lifeguards are under investigation. The driver telling officers he did not see the beachgoer. Someone tonight could become nearly $1 billion richer. The Mega Millions jackpot reaching $980 million. Tonight's drawing, 11 p.m. Eastern. Good luck. That would be a great weekend. When we come back here tonight, the heartwarming question to a best friend, now seen by millions, and you'll see it in a moment. Who is our person of the week? Finally tonight here, a new father and one of his first calls to a best friend and his request, our persons of the week. Tonight in Frisco, Texas, just north of Dallas, baby Bo Dyson was just born. Proud parents Amar and Precious FaceTiming friends to share the good news. Dad Amar calling his best friend of 13 years, Adam Rayberg. Amar and Precious moving to Texas from Virginia last year. So when baby Bo was born, Amar wanted his best friend back in Virginia to see him and to ask a question.
I was calling to tell you something with this. You see this?
What about what? Pacifier?
Nah, bro. It's not technically there, bro. I wanted to ask you to be his godfather.
Oh man. Oh, bro, you got sorry. Of course, bro.
Oh. Yeah, man. I couldn't think of anybody better, bro.
Absolutely. You get me crying right with somebody right now.
Yeah, bro.
I love him.
Yeah, man. Listen, you deserve it, bro. You my guy.
You do, Adam.
I love you, bro.
I love you too.
And right here tonight.
Hey, good evening, David, and good evening, America.
Adam, that best friend, holding his new godson.
It just hit me with an abundance of honor and gratitude and joy.
Dad Amar joining us too.
what a special moment it was to ask my best friend to be a part of my son's life in that special way.
And finally,
hi, David.
Mom and baby Bo.
He's going to have two strong men to look up to, not just his dad, but his dad's best friend, too.
The power of friendship. I'll see you right back here on Monday. Good night.
David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the third year in a row.